Good morning, all. Welcome to the weekly commodity podcast with me, Ravindra Rao from Commodity Research Desk of Kotak Securities. What a week it has been for precious metals, especially for silver, which once again performed much better as compared to gold. On the MCX, silver rose by 14% last week as compared to 2% gain in gold. However, both reached record levels in the Indian markets. In case of gold, we had seen prices moving higher. Mainly, it was the US dollar index that has pushed the entire commodities pack higher last week. We have seen dollar index going as low as 92.50, and that has taken almost all commodities on the upside. And the greatest beneficiaries were the precious metals, as gold went above 2070 $2080 on the COMEX, and silver almost tested $30. Apart from gold, there were other factors as well, but US dollar was the main driving force behind gold and silver's rise. However, at the end of the week, last week, we have seen some kind of a correction coming in, mainly due to better than expected US non-farm payrolls data, and also due to increased US-China tensions, which helped US dollar index recover from a 2-year low, and this pressurized precious metal prices, especially gold prices. ETF inflows, which have been very robust, also witnessed some kind of a redemption. Now, this was on Friday, and this was for the first time since late July, which shows that the rally in gold and silver is slightly overstretched, and a correction is due, which would be good for the structural bull market in gold and silver. Going ahead, we may see some kind of a choppy trade in both gold and silver, and there is a possibility that the US dollar might slightly recover. However, the recovery doesn't look like a sustaining one, and we might see again US dollar falling from higher levels. So we expect a corrective dip in gold. But however, the overall trend in gold remains still positive, and at the lower end, we might again see buying re-emerging. On the technical front, on daily chart, there is a bearish engulfing formation on the charts. However, the confirmation will come only if it breaches 54,690. This is the October contract, and if that happens, then we might see a correction of another 500 to 600 points on the lower side. And on the flip side, 56,200, which was the high that October gold contract has tested, close to 56,200. If it goes above that, then this pattern might fail. Otherwise, there is an expectation that if the low of 54,690 breaks, we might see a corrective dip in gold prices. Silver has surged to 2013 highs last week. Now, as mentioned, again, it was mainly due to the US dollar, and also due to strong investor interest. We have seen ETF buying increasing in last few sessions. However, on Friday in silver, also the ETF investors booked profits because of the strong, better than expected US non-farm payrolls data. Well, silver is taking resistance near $30 an ounce, and is holding support near $27.50 an ounce. There is a possibility if it doesn't go above $30 an ounce, it might fall towards 26.50 or 26.20 levels on the COMEX, and there we might again see a buying re-emerging. So overall, in gold and silver, the medium-term outlook still is quite positive. But the continuous rally looks like slightly overdone, and we might see some kind of a profit booking kicking in this week. And if that happens, I think investors will be ready again to create long positions at the lower levels. In case of crude oil again continues to be in a range. There are no major triggers in crude on either side. It is mixed. Supporting price is firmness in equity market, general weakness in US dollar, some upbeat economic data from US and especially from the manufacturing sector, and Iraq's commitment towards additional cuts, and also a decline in US rig count to 2005 lows. However, weighing on price are demand concerns amid rising virus cases in US, as expectation is that again there may be further lockdowns, and which might hamper the economic recovery. Increased US-China tensions, highest US crude stocks, and prospect of higher supply from OPEC. Now, these are the mixed factors that are going on since last a few weeks, and that is why we are seeing a range trade in crude oil prices. US dollar, as I mentioned, has recovered from 2-year lows, but still remains pressurized. So that might support the crude oil prices going ahead. Iraq's plan to cut output by about 4 lakh barrels per day in August and September to compensate for its production in the last few months might also support oil prices. But if it doesn't happen, then we might see sharp fall in the prices, as OPEC have decided to reduce production cuts from 9.7 million barrels per day to 7.7 million barrels per day from August to December. Now, the only hope is that if Iraq cuts the output as expected, then oil prices might be supported, or else we might see a fall in oil prices. So the bias remains range bound and in oil prices, but we might see buying re-emerging at lower levels, which has been the case since last few sessions. As in when crude moves to $38-$39, that is WTI crude on NYMEX, we are seeing buying coming in, and on the higher side 42.5 remains a cap. So we expect this range to continue and buying to re-emerge at lower levels. Coming to base metals, as mentioned last week, we saw good gains in nickel, zinc prices, and zinc rose by 3.7% and nickel rose by around 4%. Copper ended lower by 1.6%. We mentioned that copper is broadly range bound, and on the upper side we might see kind of selling kicking in, and that is happening. We are seeing copper on the LME has failed to breach $6,600, and in fact it has come below close to the $6,342 support level, and if it sustains below that, we might see further copper prices going down. So copper is broadly in a range, whereas other two metals have rose last week. Again, the major factor that lifted metals was the weakness in US dollar. The currency basically rose because of the better than expected non-farm payrolls data on Friday, and that has pushed the US currency slightly higher from lower levels. The index is, that is the dollar index, is witnessing choppy trade near 93.4 levels, but we still feel that it might move up till 94, which is 93.80, 94 to be precise, which is kind of a resistance. However, the movement of US dollars movement might impact the base metals pack. On the data front, key data due this week are retail sales, industrial production, and a preliminary reading of University of Michigan consumer sentiment. Most data releases are expected to signal slowdown in pace of recovery, which in turn may weigh on the US dollar and thereby support commodities at large. The metals pack may further seek support from hopes of robust demand, especially from top consumer China. Most economic data from China have been signaling recovery, which in turn is fanning demand optimism. For the week, focus will be on China's industrial production and retail sales data for the month of July, and both readings are expected to show stable growth. So this has been one of the important factor that is supporting base metals pack, the Chinese demand, and we are seeing positive data coming in from China. However, on weaker note, escalating US-China tension may continue to cap the upside. Having said that, the focus now shifts to scheduled talk between US and Chinese officials late in the week to review phase 1 trade deal. So overall, metals pack may continue to witness a mixed movement amid a push and pull of negative and positive factors on macro as well as fundamental front. However, despite the rally across most metals looking overdone, sustained weakness will not be possible unless we see recovery in the US dollar. So US dollar remains to be a key factor for the entire commodities pack, and if we see further recovery in US dollar, we might see a correction in almost all commodities, which is possible because there is a chance that US dollar might go up till 93.80, 94 kind of levels. On the technical front, as I mentioned, copper is trading in a broad range of $6,600 to $6,350 on the LME, and if it sustains below 6,350 to 6,300, we might see a good fall coming in copper prices. 516, 518 remains a very strong resistance on the MCX, and until that holds, we might see a selling coming in whenever it reaches those levels. And on the lower side, 498 remains to be a good support. In case of zinc, on the LME, 2,450, 2,460 remains to be a strong resistance, and on the MCX, 193, 194 levels is a strong resistance, and on the lower side, 187 to 184 remains to be a strong support. So we expect that this week zinc will trade in this very range. In case of nickel, as mentioned, we saw it moving higher above the $14,250 mark, and now there is a chance it might consolidate. $14,500, $14,550 would be the resistance, and on the lower side, $13,800 would be the support, and on the MCX, 1,000, around 1,070, 1,060 would be the support, and on the higher side, around 1,120 would be the resistance. So broadly, we are expecting a range move in the entire base metal pack. The bias will be slightly positive, but it will be more of a range move. And in case of gold and silver, we still expect that the medium term trend remains positive, but some corrective dips are possible. And in energy pack, crude oil might trade in the broad range that it has been trading since past few sessions. That's all in this edition of podcast. Before signing off, I wish you all a fantastic trading week ahead. Thank you.